peu with yourself? You guys the dritte? Steffi. Okay, let's go.
Good morning. We're going to start classes again. I'm just checking who's already there. Okay, Josef, hello. Birgit, hello. Nice to see you or to be with you. You can see me, I can't see you, but I know you're there. And if there is Jacqueline, thanks for the good idea with the AirPods. Last week you said maybe the sound is not proper, but it doesn't work in my setup. So we have to use the microphone on the rack there as before. I try to speak to the phone, to the microphone instead of away from it. So I hope you can listen or you can understand what we are talking about. Okay, you're good?
Yes, I'm fine. Still.
So enjoy. Morning, guys. Okay. So, basic suturi, again, like always. 正面についてどうぞ。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、2、3、4、5、6、OK、切り返しどうぞ。はい。2、3、4、5、6、Yes. So, Kisagiri, jeder die Hand Kisagiri. 2、3、4、5、6、 Bitsudanski. Well, okay, so within the last 3 weeks, oh no, last time and the previous time, we did the kata for Kashima Shindru, third series of kata. It's called Aishin kumi tachi. And we already have managed to do the first, the last, and then the second, and third and fourth of the kata line. And so we're missing the second. Did you calculate that right? Did I calculate that right? So what's missing? So the second, well, this kata is called seigan, kumi tachi seigan. This is a kata what is quite interesting. It seems to be very simple, much more simple from the outside view, as for instance those big forms like kumi wa kata tachi, where you have to come close, go away again, come again close, and then lead the partner into let's say falling moment. This one is far shorter, but the timing and the positioning has to be very, very correct. And this is otherwise it doesn't feel well, or it doesn't make sense, and it is a strange kind of training. Already, of course, the functions of the katas are, developing by the ability to use it. So as the more we repeat the training for these movements in the kata, the more we feel how it works. That happens by coming from the form, from the kata to the vasa, to the actual happening of what is transmitted by the form. So, seigan seems to be simple, but it's quite difficult. We just show both practices. You can just show both sides. So now I'm turning like this. Probably later I turn around, but because I'm describing, I have to talk towards the microphone. So, as always in this series, we start with the waki no gamai position. So first of all, we are already in the position of seigan. What is meaning that we have this closed stance, heels are touching, we are fully upright and pointing the tip of the sword towards the throat of the opponent's, let's say, figure or center line. So then we lift the sword, we turn backwards, step back with the right foot, and lean forward with weight on the left. Now, first attempt is to go yokomi. As an attacker, shidachi, I want to invite the defender with shidachi to cut my hand. So I go backwards and put the sword on the left side. Actually, the left hand is opening up, so maybe the thumb is still in contact with the handlebar. And it's pointing backwards, the tip of the sword. In the moment where the defender wants to close that line with the positioning of seigan, that's why this kata is called, she puts the sword in front of me. I want to wipe away the sword. But because of the defender is prepared to that, he or she is following and puts another time his or her sword above my ankle. My what is it? Wrist. I'm sorry. Wrist. Okay. So that is all. It seems to be very simple, but to find the right timing is quite tricky. One more time. We go backwards, Waki no Gamai, come forward to Yokomuchi. We open up and we want to hit the sword of the defender, but we're ending up in being controlled in this position. And again, Waki Gamai, Yokomuchi, opening, trying to take away, but being controlled. I show from the side. So, Waki no Gamai. First, I want to attack Yokumin. I invite the partner. If he is trying to control, I try to wipe away, but I'm again in control. Okay.
There's a sliding step while inviting the partner for the second attack.
Yes. When I'm in Yokomuchi and I go backwards, I have also to take a little bit of distance, because if I'm standing where I am and I'm just taking the sword away, the defender's sword is too close to me, so he could easily touch me then or reach me. So I have to change the distance. And then there's this other step in the end. Okay? Let's repeat it a few times. Now I turn around, later I turn around again. So, let's see. So. Okay, feel strong. Right. Now, Uchidashi, the defender, is doing this. First, again we start with the Waki no Gamai and come forward, Yokomuchi. As soon as the partner tries to invite me in this trap, let's say, I follow and want to close, like in seigan, the position to the center, but my feet are not closed like in the beginning, in knee position. So right foot is forward. Now the partner tries to slap away my sword. So I have to lift it up to give space and come again forward to control again the wrist. Okay? So we start Waki no Gamai, Yokomuchi, following, lifting up, and following through. Yeah, I show from the side. Waki no Gamai, Yokomuchi, following, lifting, and following. So the problem is, it happens very quick. One time, very slow. Back. What happens? First, I control. I want to control the wrist. It's trying to take away my sword. I open up and come back in to control the wrist. Fine. Yeah? Okay, let's repeat that. It's a very short movement as well.
One question. What is Yokomuchi close to the second leg?
You have to speak up to this direction. Maybe some people have the question.
After this Yokomuchi, the question is, shall I close my feet before I attack?
Before you control.
Yeah.
For the control, there, it depends. Sometimes, depending on how far the partner is away, you have to move the left leg. Sometimes it is the right leg. But as soon as the strike comes from the attacker, you have to lift up again. And then, of course, you slide in by right foot forward. In the beginning, you should be prepared for both. Of course, in the kata, we could now say, now you have to do this step or that step or whatever. It depends, actually. If we are doing proper the kata, maybe there's no step necessary. But we will see, because depending on your reach and my reach and the step what we are how far we step. Yeah, therefore you have to adjust later, of course. If the technique is properly done, maybe there's not necessary to do any step at that point. But as maybe you saw, I was doing sometimes a step and sometimes not, because I'm trying to proceed the kata in my mind while we're working alone, by imagining how is the opponent doing now. So maybe it's not so clear. One time we repeat, we go backwards, we want to control. Now I'm standing. We have to lift up, and already I bring in my hand, slide forward. Maybe that's the most simple and correct form. So, one more time, your kumi, controlling, lifting up and going inside again. Okay. Kumi, controlling, lifting up and going in again. Yeah? You want to try? Let's go, or just repeat this form and I check. Okay, that's the word to me. It's the imagination what makes it difficult. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's figure out by doing it together what is necessary. So, I do the attack. We go very slowly and work it through point by point. Well, Kikamai and Yoko position. Now, I want to take you, or draw you here. Okay, go back to your Kenjutsu position. First of all, from my side, if I would just go here, no. If I would just go here, it is not enough. So I try to invite you. If you come, that's what I want to do. Okay. So this kind of trap I want to set up. Now, from this position again, you have to follow already and go up and follow through. Exactly. So that's the actual. Now we did very, very slowly, and still, or already, you feel like, oh my goodness, what's the timing? Because it's so difficult.
Yeah.
As soon as you follow me by hesitating, if you're hesitating to follow me, that's what I mean, it is very, very difficult to answer properly. So, in the first moment, when you see I'm doing this, you have to be right there. Exactly. And therefore, it depends how far is your reach, how far is our stance apart, what step you need for this cut. So maybe if you have a wide stand, you just can go forward and you're already having. And still I was outside of the range, okay? So I went backwards. If I wouldn't do that, you can also just touch my head with ease. So I want to surprise you by giving you the chance to control the center line by following me, but I already had made my plans. So therefore you have to be aware about taking your sword up as soon as you see I'm giving the points. Yes! So that's the difficulty of the kata. It looks so simple because it's so small or so few actions. But the timing and the preparation of mind is very difficult, very hard. Is being aware of, if you open up, that I have to close, or if you want to strike me, that I need to be able to take my sword away one more time from here. That's very difficult. So I want to, you see what I mean? I was trying to be too fast and you try to control the situation, but as soon as you really wanted to strike me away, I could take it. Well, if we would have regular classes, I would go and practice this kind of practice, what we sometimes do, to prepare these reflexes, to have a visual training to see impulse, what comes from the feet or from the knee, from the hips, from wherever from your body. And I'm not fixed to the sword. For instance, you know that sometimes we are doing this practice. So you have to strike my one, I strike yours. And it should be clear impulse from the center, otherwise the sword is not moving. Okay, it's not enough if I try to beat by hands. But if I strike from center, you feel it. Okay. And then there's this funny situation where we say, as soon as I strike you, I don't want to let you strike me by taking my sword a little bit out of the line. And you have to be quick to open me. And I have to go back to open. Control the line. Okay. And we could also, yes, do it that way. And that would be the way of the... And the interesting thing is also for the partner who's practicing to strike away the sword, take it out like this, that it should not be pretended, it should be really done. So if I want to move you, but I just go like this, you wouldn't be taken out of the line. So you really have to put the center, really put the center. Also to this tip, that's it. And now from the other side. Okay. For those who are attending, like Josef and Birgit, they know it's very, very tricky, this situation, and difficult to practice. But this is actually what happens in this kata, to observe the partner while being able to respond proper in a perfect time without hesitation. It's very difficult. So all the other forms are technically simple compared to that one. Okay. We try one more time very slowly, and then we slowly take up the seat. So I am attacking. You come in, I invite you, and I open. Yes, and you have to be ready to follow, to lift up and follow again. Exactly. So now you've been a little bit quicker than I have been. And we have to adjust perfect match for this form. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You lifted up your sword before I was trying to strike it away. And therefore you have to wait, but being prepared to take it up. It's okay, so that would be the correct rhythm. And we do very simple and very, very slow. The idea to be correct. Okay, now it was from the timing and the how it's set up correct, but the distance wasn't correct. Mm-hmm. In the first moment where you tried, after I invited you to come to this trap, you followed, but your distance was too far apart. You were not really controlling. It was kind of almost controlling the center line, but a little bit outside of the range. So, slowly again. You have, okay, what I mean is you don't need to really come so far that you can reach my wrist, but you have to come so far that if I won't move, you could continue and touch me there. What I mean is this, between, you go backwards, between coming here, it's too far, and coming there, what's too close, not necessary. There's a little bit distance less, but a little bit further than in the first time, where I control this point, the center. So actually, I am in the reach, but I'm not fully stretched out to the point. I could continue, but I'm just controlling this center line. You have to do now something with this sword because you cannot, let's say, let it be there without reaction. You have to take it away. And that's what I want to do. And then I follow through that you are in my range without being able to do anything. Okay? So there's two different distances in that moment. The one is I come close, controlling the center line, by still giving you the chance, or no, by creating the need for you to change the situation by striking away the sword. That's what you actually want. You also want to have this distance. Still able to answer, but not in full control. Because if I would control you by coming very far forward, you wouldn't be able to take my sword away. Look. If you go backwards just for the first attempt to invite me, and I'm going here, you're not able to do this anymore. But this could be also, from the other side, could be tricky, because if you feel I'm coming so far forward, you could easily adjust as well and take more distance. So this first moment is we have to find out where's the position where we are in the range to reach, but not in the range to fully control. If you go backwards, this is a reach range, but not full control. So you want to take me away, and then I have to step in further to reach it. Is that reasonable? Can you follow me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we go slowly and we do the same rhythm as before, but you are observing more the distance. Okay, you see, the first time you've been a little bit further away, and the second time you're so close in that I can't do anything. Let's see. Okay, so one more thing. From your community, there's no cut. There's just closing the line by taking the position. And that could be seigan position, yes. Not too low, the sword. It's like still pointing to the throat, not too low. And as you see already, maybe you need a step. Maybe you come already close. Maybe you're already like in seigan with the closed feet. As soon as we're starting to do this form more fluidly, then you will see maybe there is not an actual position where you could say, now I'm in there and now I'm in there, and this has to be set up like that, because anyway, we are moving through the whole motion. One more time. Just control the line if I'm opening, and that's what I want. Okay, so you're controlling the line. That was really good from the distance, and now, of course, you have to do that. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, and one more time. Okay. So now I change the speed, and you see what is created by that. Whoa. Yes, and don't hit yourself. So, one. Hey! Okay. And one more.
But actually, I don't feel the first controlling.
You don't feel it?
No.
Okay. I feel it. I think it's okay. So as soon as I go here, you've been following. So you've been closing that line. That's why I have to do something. I cannot leave your sword there. if I don't react to that, you just would follow through and be in front of me, and I would be able to take some, let's say, advantage of my previous action. Hey!
One more time.
Hey! Ha ha! You see what happens now?
Yeah.
Okay, now, funny, but I changed the rhythm. I go quick, but I decide when to open up or not. Maybe it will be very quick, maybe it will be very slow. So that is the difficulty for you to control. If I go really fast, maybe you think like it's easier to follow, but it is not.
Yeah.
As soon as I go slow, it is not easy. Hey. Yes. Okay. And that is the, let's say, yeah, this especially with this kata, it needs a lot of concentration, even more than in the other forms what we have, because it is so important to observe. But probably it is all the same in every other kata form. But I feel here it's very clear that without this kind of concentration, without this proper observation of the partner and of the action, you will never find it, let's say, working well, this form. It is always strange. It's always like, somehow out of the rhythm or out of the distance or whatever. So that's why I think this form is very, very difficult and very, very profound, basic. If we are able to control this kind of situation, what we have been talking about or describing, then of course we have a huge control, a huge potential of control in the confrontation with the opponent. Okay. We change you. You give me the reason to follow. Maybe I'm still sleeping and I can't. It's Saturday morning. Right. Hey!
Oh, yeah.
Yes, good. I was not. Hey! Yeah, that was funny because you had a kind of a reflex in your body to take myself, but you stopped yourself and then thought about, oh, no, I have to do it. So I was already like, oh, what's going on? It's very difficult. Sorry. Oh, you were attacking? Hey! Oh! Now, for instance, the distance for me wasn't proper. So I had to do even one more step, crossing. So doing this kind of motion. It was not enough just to follow. I had to go until there. Mm-hmm. Because you took a lot of distance in the first place.
Just a bit.
As always.
No.
Yes, good. Hey. Ooh. Hey. Whoa. Hey. Whoa. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Understood. Yes. That's good. It's good. What's the time actually? Already so long we have practiced. Okay, so that's it. Don't know what to do else. Aishin, kumi, tachi, the series of kata we've just finished. We can just show everything again. Okay, we go through once all the 5. Yeah?
I try.
Well, I attack and you answer.
Oh,
Remember, it was kiridome, then seigan, what we practiced today, then waretsuki first, then kaishikute and taoshibutsu. So correctly to say kumi tachi kiridome, kumi tachi seigan, kumi wakare, waretsuki, kumi tachi kaishikute, kumi wakare taoshibutsu. So
it sounds delicious.
well, it's the same like in Aikido, we just have to get used to these form names. The first one starts, we come across the swords and do it from the other side. Then I, as an attacker, I step outside and try to strike underneath your sword. You are going through this strike by putting the base of your blades against my sword and follow through. No, that's the fourth form. It's I attack like that.
Ah.
And you're taking cut through my blade and closing the line. The very first form what we practiced 3 weeks ago. No, 2 weeks ago. And then second one, seigan, what we did just now, right now. And the third form is we come to cross the blades and take distance, and I will attack Sudanski, and you just give me the counter by Sudanski. The next form is the one where I try to come around your sword very quickly and hit your wrist. And that's the one where you step aside and drop your sword into this position to counter-attack to my wrist. And the last form is, again, I go back, come to cross, go back, use the touch, and come in front of you to cut you from there, and you let drop me through and take me down. The first one. Okay, I just show the attack this moment. If I go back, I attack, change to the other side, I go outside, low, and I'll be cut down. For the defender side, you copy the first motions, you change, and as soon as the partner comes, you cut through by this part and follow to the throat.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah?
Right.
Sure. We go slowly. Let's go very slow. I have to go a little bit there. Yes. So I hey. Ah. Oh. Ah, it's more the base. You swing the base. You don't cut from top, swing the base. Just like 2 weeks ago. One more time. Hey. Ah. Yes, and slide a little bit. No, just don't turn too much. So second one, seigan. Hey.
I forgot everything.
Up. Third, after your kumi, we do kissing. Hey. Up.
No.
Fourth one, I cut your wrist. Be prepared to walk outside with your back foot, and yes, and you counter. Usually you a bit more turn from the hips. And the last one is oh shit. First you go hard, you check, and you in the traditional form, you turn me around and push me away. Then we use that because I prefer. All right, you attack. Hey. Ah. You have to walk out the line with your yes. seigan. Hey.
Ah.
Oh. Kumi wa kare oretsuki. Look on the notes. Kesagiri and focus. And ski to that ski to it. Yeah. Now, my wrist. And hey. Okay, that was, let's say, a bit loose. Now we concentrate and focus very much, and we go through once I do the attack, and we do proper and slow style of kata. Not too fast, I will attack very slow, and we do very proper, okay? Come on. With the full program of start and finish. So in the beginning, go down. Hey! Ah!
I don't know what to do.
Prepare to swing your base through my.
Ah.
Hey!
Ah. Ah. Ah.
Hey! Hey! Okay. Okay. Of course, we need to repeat and repeat and repeat. Be more safe or clear about what's coming. But fine. Good. 5 forms in 3 weeks. Lose 10 kilos. By sweat of fear. No, it's okay. Right. That's it for today. I hope you did enjoy, and yeah, probably for my students who are actually watching, that's what we're gonna do and show next week or over next week or in 2 months or whenever we start again. And that's the first thing what I ask you to show this series of kata. Shall we still do our last action for our, well, let's have some more of this work. Okay, so shomenotsu, and we break it down on the ground. It's ni, so, si, wo, wo, tits, ots, ku, tu, it's ni, so, si, wo, wo, tits, ots, ku, tu. Hey. Arigatou gozaimasu.